start with Thursday night. West Virginia on the road
Oh,
against
boy.
Virginia Tech. We've got a road favorite. Let's start right out with a road favorite here. West Virginia -2.5. You can give me the update this morning.
Uh-huh.
Hit 3, maybe back to 2.5 in some places. Total in that 52, 52.5, 53 range. So this
53
is one
now,
of
huh?
those 53. Let's talk first this atmosphere. This is fun. This is much like I told you guys and we discussed during the West Virginia Pitt game that opened the season. This is another regional rivalry that has gone away. West
Yeah.
Virginia has played once in Blacksburg in the last 20 some years, which is just stunning to me for teams.
How
You want me to
far
say it
away
again?
how far away are those two places?
5-ish hours or
Okay,
so
so this
by
isn't like a
car.
close. I mean, it's drivable, but this is not like you're not rivals,
Oh yeah,
right?
big
This is
rivals. Big, huge rivals. The southern part of the state in West Virginia backs right up to Virginia, where there's a lot of Hokie fans. These
okay.
teams met for years in the Big East Conference. Met before that. This is a big
Okay.
time traditional rivalry here. Yeah,
Okay.
this matter. There's a trophy, Dave. There's a trophy for this game. The Black Diamond Trophy is
A
on the line.
Black Diamond Trophy.
Black Diamond Trophy. Big. I've told you this before. I think the Black Diamond Trophy, big, huge trophy. It's got some coal influence. I've carried it. I've held the thing. It's big. It's a
Is it
heavy
heavy?
trophy. Heavy trophy,
It is.
and it's on the line.
Okay, so you don't have to go down a ski slope to get this though. Black Diamond is usually reserved for very steep ski slopes, right? Like
This is,
this is a big deal that West Virginia's favored, isn't it? Like
yeah.
when we talked about this game in advance, and we were like, "Oh, it'll be pick 'em, or it'll be I mean, even Virginia Tech could be a small favorite." Not many times West Virginia is laying points going to Blacksburg. And is there a better entrance to college football than Virginia Tech's
Well,
beginning of
no,
its career?
they do a great job with that. So that if you're watching this and aren't in tune with this rivalry, tune in. It will be fantastic. They'll
Wow.
be hopping down there. They'll be excited. This game is back. These two teams met last year. Great game. West Virginia jumped out, was in control the whole way. Tech came storming back. West Virginia needed a late stand defensively to hold them off and get the win. So
Mm.
this might not reach the level of that Pitt West Virginia game the way it did in the opening week, but this is going to be massive from an atmosphere standpoint. And you've got let's talk about the number for a minute, then let's get into the nitty
Okay.
gritty of the game.
Yeah.
If you were here, and I don't know that this was everywhere, but here in West Virginia Saturday before WVU kicked off against Towson State, I was looking around on the books and I was on FanDuel here in West Virginia. You could have got the Mountaineers +2.5 at that point before kickoff of the Towson game.
So it
Then
was the other way. That's what I
it
thought.
it was, yeah. It moved. Now that obviously, as you always tell me, once the game kicks off, that comes down. When it was reposted, then West Virginia became the favorite. So let's kind of back into that a little bit. Part of that is, and this is an interesting contrast in styles here. So Tech's challenge is it's got new everything. Brent Pry has come in from Penn State. Interesting that you've got the Penn State hat on. Your former defensive coordinator there at your team is in at Virginia Tech. He'd spent some time on the Hokies staff before. So all new group for Virginia Tech. They've got a new quarterback. I'll get to that in a minute because there's ties to this game as well. They've been led by their defense so far. Virginia Tech's defense, you've heard that before over their
Right.
history. They've
Yeah.
been very good defensively. They're struggling a little more on the offensive side of things.
Okay.
Just they put 17 on the board against Old Dominion and a loss on the road to Old Dominion. They scored 27 against Boston College,
Okay.
and they only put up 27 against a not very good Wofford team of the FCS this
Wofford?
past weekend. Wofford.
That's the what? That's oh boy.
That's the Terriers, by the way. Before you ask me,
Ah,
it's the Terriers.
I was going to try to sneak one in on you, but you've been
I
up
got it.
early and you already got the coffee, so I can't get one by you. That was good. Virginia Tech's 2-1. West
Mhm.
Virginia's 1-2. Their first win of the season came last week at home against who?
Towson State.
You don't know that one, do you?
Yeah,
That big
Tigers.
name? The
Yeah,
Tigers?
Tigers.
See, I'm not even going to fact check you because you could just say Tigers and like I wouldn't know. So, but I know you're right.
I am right.
Okay.
Okay, so Tech's defense, but struggling offense a little bit. They had a ton of turnovers against Old Dominion that caused that loss. Against West Virginia, whose offense has been absolutely lights out. Scored on every drive against Towson. All 10 drives they scored. They've gone
Nice.
back 8 quarters and only punted once in the last 2 games. Offense is really
West
clicking top
Virginia's
10
only punted once.
against Kansas and against Towson. Their offenses look really, really good.
What about the
So
defense, B, Hal?
tons of questions on the defense. Tons. Now, here's what you need. I think you need to look at. This West Virginia's defense was really bad against Kansas. Kansas attacked the edges with their quarterback, ran option, got the roller skates going for the defensive ends and linebackers. West Virginia couldn't stop them.
Yes.
But if you go back to the Pitt game, your guys in Pittsburgh, Narduzzi and Signetti, head coach, offensive coordinator, kept trying to run straight at West Virginia for most of that game, and it wasn't working. West Virginia was able to hold up very well.
Right.
Pitt only started moving it when they had to start throwing it, and that's the way you attack West Virginia. You should be throwing it on them. So the question in this is, Grant Wells, Virginia Tech's quarterback, is not going to get on the edge and run option. He can run it a little bit, but he's not going to run option. So you're going to have to force him to throw it. So the Tech running game is going to want to run. It's going to be more similar to Pitt than Kansas, which West Virginia handled. You're going to have to ask Grant Wells to throw it, I think, to beat you. Can he? Will he get pressure? Will he turn it over? So to me, Grant Wells is a key. Would you like to ask me where Grant Wells grew up?
I mean, following along in the notes, I was going to ask you that next question. Yeah, go ahead.
Charleston, West Virginia. Product of George Washington High School. Went to Marshall, started for them as a freshman, has since transferred out to Virginia Tech. This is a big game for Grant Wells. This is a big game for Grant Wells. He'll be fired up. But that's the question. It's West Virginia's offense against Tech's defense.
Okay, that's what you're looking at. And I'm looking at it from a neutral point of view, or just from putting up the line or looking to see where it may go. Can Virginia Tech score enough to keep up with West Virginia in this game?
So there's a good question. On its surface, I would say no, except I don't know how good, or really we should phrase it, how bad West Virginia's defense is. That's the whole question here.
You've seen them 3 times. You do the post game after the show. What do you mean you don't know? You're supposed to be the expert on West Virginia. What do you mean you're not
so
sure?
Here's why. Towson State, a bad FCS team, they dominated, didn't give up a point. Against Kansas, who's turning out to be a playoff contender and world champion, Kansas Jayhawks, they had a very diverse, they legitimately had a very diverse offense with a great game plan, and they ate West Virginia up. Pitt,
but that's
probably the best team they played, but not very imaginative on offense. West Virginia handled it. So you've seen great West Virginia defense, you've seen terrible West Virginia defense, and you've seen it right in the middle. I think this Tech, to me, as I look at it on Tuesday when we record, I think Tech looks more like Pitt offensively. So I think you'll get an okay effort from West Virginia defensively. And to answer your question, in that case, I don't know that Tech can score enough to keep up.
No.
Did I talk you in circles there? Are you more confused than when I started?
Listen, I'm just happy I'm awake right now, and I'm trying to keep up with you. That was very good. My first thought on Tuesday is that the game is going to go over, which kind of a pattern for West Virginia. And I'm leaning favorite right now on Tuesday. Even laying points on the road, I don't like the sounds of all that. That feels like Virginia Tech feels like it's going to be a very public dog on Thursday.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
People are going to look at this and go, how can West Virginia, 1-2, they just beat Towson, big deal. How can they be laying points on the road? Don't fall for the trap.
Yeah, and then we'll move on. I think that's 100% right. I think if you like West Virginia, can't you wait here? Won't you get a better number as we get closer to game day?
Yeah.
Get a point or so? I mean, I think it's going to go back towards Tech.
Now. I can't believe it's 2.5. I just clicked refresh. It's 1.5 at Caesars. Just now moved. They listened to the show. We're not even live.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, click on another video right here on the screen. And if you really liked it, consider subscribing below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.